Guys, what's up? It's Justin here, and I'm on Brian's channel today. And so, we've already done a few profiles tonight through Brian's deck, so now we're turning over another leaf to my decks. And while I don't have as many or as much of a variety as Brian does, I stuck through my guns to level 4 basic decks, and I went from Valiant Boxers to Evilswarm, so tonight we will show off my Evilswarm deck profile. So, let's get into it. Starting with monsters, we have Rescue Rabbit. Rescue Rabbit's a special card because he allows you to banish him to add to special summon 2 normal monsters from your deck. So that's why Heliotrope is in this deck. I run 3 because at a consistency, you're likely to draw 1. And he's a 1950 beater, so even if you don't get Rescue Rabbit off, he's still really good. So I run those as a combo. Caster is your Rhoda search. I run 1 Rhoda, as you'll see in my spells. You search him, you can normal summon another Evilswarm monster that same turn. So you can easily XYZ into a level 4 or into whatever you want to XYZ into. Curriculum, basically later on in the game, he's kind of like for your battle boxes, how you have your switch hitter where he brings one back. You banish one of your Ishswarm or Evilswarm monsters from the grave, and you get to normal summon an extra monster that turn. So it's another easy overlay. Then you have 3 Mandragora. It's kind of like your Spar for Valiant Boxers, but for Evilswarms. If your opponent controls 1 monster or more monsters than you control, you can special summon it to the field. And the cool thing about it is you can still attack. It doesn't prohibit you from attacking that turn. So those are the monsters. 1, 2, 3, 13 monsters. Not a lot, but enough to get the job done. Regeki, because 1, it's overpowered.
Why not?
And 2, because board clearance, because it's everything. 1 Darkle. Soul Charge, just because late game, with 13 monsters, sometimes your opponent can wipe through your entire stockpile of monsters, and you need to get something on the board to keep you alive for a few more turns, if not to finish out the game. Rhoda, because you want to target Castro as soon as possible. It's an easy overlay. I'm running this Creeping Darkness. You banish 2, and you target 1 level 4, level 1 to 4 from your deck to your hand. So it's a quick add.
Spicy tech.
Spicy techs. Upstart Goblin, because at this point, at least running 1 is a staple, and I'm pretty sure it is at 1. So
Yeah, it's at 1 now.
Yeah, it used to be at like 3 in it. I used to run circles around everyone in battle and box with 3 upstarts. Your opponent gets 1,000, which kind of sucks, but you get a free draw. Book of Moon, because you don't want to deal with special summon monsters effects or things that you can't get over. So use Book of Moon it, because who cares? Those are the ones that I run. 1 of. Power Duality, for consistency, it gives me a better chance at getting one of my 13 monsters if I don't open with 1, which happens, and it sucks when it does happen. 2 Forbidden Chalice, because while I love all the Forbidden cards, and they all do amazing things, this one negates effects, but while it boosts you by 400, or your opponent's monster by 400, it negates their effect. So it's a win-lose situation depending upon what monsters you have on the board and what monsters they have on the board. 2 Allure Darkness, because it's a free draw if I get rid of one of my dark targets, which is all my monsters and grave, or even half my extra deck. 3 Infestation Pandemics, because I don't like swinging with any of my Evilswarms without having some kind of guaranteed protection, especially when I'm directly attacking. There's too much Battle Trap set these days, and too many things to worry about for you to get your monsters destroyed by spells and traps. So it's a great card to check in. Overall, that's 16 spell cards. Moving on into traps, we have Torrential for board wipe, and it's kind of a staple at this point in the current format. Safe Zone, because
That's an old one.
It's not the greatest card in the game, it gives my Ophion an extra boost. Ophion is overpowered with not letting your opponent special summon level 5 or higher, as well as his XYZ materials, and he can target an infestation card, so I can get a pandemic off, so he's protected completely. Safe zone just assures that he stays on my board for longer than normally people would want him to be. Infestation infection, another target for Ophion. If you don't like the monsters that you're drawing, you can send it to your deck and pick one, and it's basically give one up, pick one of your choice, and add that to hand.
It's an insta-curriculum late game.
Yep. Compulse, staple at this point, gets something off board that you don't want to be there. Solemn, once again, gets something off board that you don't want to be there. And it's 2,000 life points, but it comes in clutch at key parts in the duel. So, 2 Mirror Force, because while I'm not super concerned about my opponent attacking my monsters, having 13 monsters, you want to be careful with your opponent attacking over everything too quickly. So 2 Mirror Force is good. Fiendish, because while I like breakthrough skills, I find Fiendish should be better. Your opponent can't attack, and they're stuck on the field. They can't activate their effect. 2 anti-spell fragrance. I just picked these up. I don't know how I feel about them, but they delay your opponent from using a bunch of quick play spells like MSTs and other cards that can easily destroy you. Like all the forbidden cards, for example, that your opponent would normally play.
So
they can't play them.
So what made you want to main deck it and not side it?
I wanted to run Royal in this deck because when I originally started with Evilswarms, I was running an anti-version. So I was running 3 Thunderbird, I was running a Dimensional and a Macro, and I'm pretty sure I was running Royal Decrees at that point. Maybe not. It's on my channel. I can't really remember every card that was in it. But I felt that anti-spell is good for delay, and it lets me set up my board so I can get things off before my opponent can, get rid of my stuff.
Cool.
So those are the traps. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 traps. And that is the main deck. Moving on into the extra deck. Your main card, just like how I sit on one card with Battling Boxers, your main card here is Ophion. Ophion's a lot better when your opponent special summons a lot or uses level 5 or higher monsters. Ask Brian when it comes to his Sylvans. I completely destroy that entire deck with
Bad
just
matchup.
this card. You can sit on him with XYZ materials. If your opponent plays level 4s or lowers, you can just detach and find an infestation card. Infection or Pandemic is fantastic to pick up. It's an instant save basically per turn if you use the Pandemic, so it's good. Or Boris has to be one of my favorite cards no matter what deck I'm using. He takes 3, but he allows you to either target a card your opponent controls, send that back to hand, target a card from your hand, send it to graveyard, target a card in graveyard and banish it. He can do each of those once. Bahamut is actually really good. He's kind of like a Change Your Heart, which is a banned card that was in the original format of Yu-Gi-Oh! Long time ago. Basically, you target a face-up monster your opponent controls, you discard a Evilswarm or a Swarm monster in your hand, and then you get control of your opponent's monster. So it can come in handy late game. It can also come in handy, especially like if your opponent's running a kaiju engine. A lot of people run kaiju engines, so you can get over a kaiju if you had to. So it's pretty good. Nightmare is good because it can face down defense position monster, any special summon monsters, so they can't get off their effect. Kind of like an extra Book of Moon, but for special summons. Thanatos is kind of like a Utopia. He targets himself, and he is unaffected by spells and traps. He's at a decent attack, so it's not a big deal. In case you get over all my Ophions, I have a Still Swarm Roach. Level 5s, I don't want to deal with them. Anything higher than level 5, I don't want to deal with.
So much hate.
Caster, just good. Gets rid of something on board. Not as good for me as Diamond Dire, in my opinion. I like popping something and sending it to grave rather than shuffling in deck for use later, but you take what you can get. Abyss Roller for graveyard decks. One of my favorite cards of this day, Honor Arc. I constantly go into him, whether it's Battling Boxers or this deck, because I like getting over special monsters that give me problems, and it's a real quick way of doing so. Black Ship of Corn, because a lot of people that aren't playing those level 5 or higher decks play monsters with small attack, level 4s, level 3s, level 2s. Black Ship Detach, destroy that card if it has less attack than him and do 1,000 automatically. It's just a great tech in. Gymnite Pearl, because while not many people run it, it's good over most synchros like Stardust and other cards. It doesn't need an effect and get past some of the cards that, stop effect monsters from attacking. And then finally Diamond Dyer, because Diamond Dyer is a free pop. It's a free MST, and since I don't run MSTs, if a card is really giving me trouble, I can bring out Diamond Dyer and pop it. In the new format, though, you're probably going to sound Ophion, just like in the new format with Blind Boxers, just said on a league joke. But that is to be seen for later. Anyway, guys, this has been Justin on Brian's channel. Make sure that you like this video, you hit Brian up, you check out all his other videos, and you subscribe. And I will see you next time. Peace.